Hello. Today, I'm going to talk about a film inspired by the true story of the youngest soldier of World War II, titled Soldier Boy. Warning: spoilers ahead. Proceed with caution. The movie opens in Russia, where a family of three enjoys a peaceful moment by the river. The youngest, Sergei Aleshkov, proudly tells his older brother and mother about climbing a tree, when suddenly, German fighter jets appear overhead. The mother urges her children to hide in the bushes, but 6-year-old Sergei, unafraid, takes aim at the jets with his slingshot. Amazingly, he manages to hit and destroy one of them. But when he looks around, his family is gone. Sergei wakes up terrified. It was only a dream. He calls out for his mother, just as there's a knock at the door. Thinking it's her, he rushes to open it, but instead, a neighbor woman enters, panic-stricken. She thanks God for his safety and delivers the heartbreaking news that his mother and brother are dead. Unable to fully grasp what she's saying, Sergei insists on staying home to wait for his mother. The woman urges him to flee, as the Germans have attacked. Just then, soldiers approach the house. The woman helps Sergei escape through the window but is shot dead before she can join him. The 6-year-old boy is now alone, with no family or friends. As Sergei flees, he sees his neighborhood engulfed in flames. He desperately calls out for his mother but gets no response. Exhausted and lost, he finds himself deep in the woods. He calls for his mother to come and find him. That night, he spends the night in the forest. The next morning, as he drinks from a river, enemy soldiers approach. Knowing they are dangerous, Sergei quickly hides among the roots of a tree. He is startled when a snake slithers nearby, but he remains silent, too frightened to move. The soldiers eat by the river and leave, allowing Sergei to take their leftover food, which he eats to sustain himself. However, after 2 days without a proper meal and with no clear destination, the little boy is exhausted. Despite his fatigue, he keeps moving, eating wild berries he finds along the way. Suddenly, an explosion goes off behind him, disorienting him. In his daze, he imagines someone approaching but still bravely declares that he has a rifle and isn't afraid. Eventually, Sergei collapses and loses consciousness. 2 soldiers find him while he's passed out. The scene shifts to the Russian army base, where Commander Kuznetsov anxiously awaits his patrol soldiers' return. They arrive with the injured, weak little boy. Upon realizing the soldiers are friendly, Sergei introduces himself. The soldiers are charmed by him and even share a laugh when the boy shakes hands with the commander, suggesting he introduce himself as well. The soldiers gather around the boy, offering him food and water. Even the normally stern commander shows concern for Sergei. A nurse named Katya tends to his wounds, also taken by his charm. Sergei asks her to draw a tank on his bandages because he wants to be a soldier when he grows up. The injured soldiers are also cheered by Sergei's presence. The boy is fascinated by the commander's gun and badge, and the commander patiently answers all of his questions, even letting him play with his honorary pistol, minus the bullets. Sergei proudly shows off the tank drawn on his stomach, declaring himself a soldier. His recovery is swift. Katya asks the commander if Sergei can stay with the battalion, but he refuses, concerned for the boy's safety, and insists on sending him to an orphanage. The soldiers, however, spend all their free time with Sergei, visiting him throughout the day, bringing food sent by their families, and letting him play with their binoculars. One day, a soldier approaches the commander, pleading for Sergei to stay with them, as they've grown attached to him. The boy's presence lifts their spirits, offering a welcome distraction from the war. Yet, the commander remains firm in his decision to send Sergei to an orphanage, prioritizing his safety. The next day, the enemy attacks, leaving many soldiers wounded. A vehicle arrives to take Sergei to the orphanage. The commander breaks the news to the boy, gifting him a wooden honorary pistol. Sergei, in turn, hugs him, expressing his fear for the commander's safety. Touched by the boy's concern, the commander changes his mind, allowing Sergei to stay with the soldiers as a son. That night, the soldiers excitedly find small soldiers' clothes for Sergei. The commander wakes him to give him the uniform, and Sergei eagerly puts it on, running around like a true soldier. The soldiers affectionately begin calling him their little soldier boy. As Sergei runs around, the Germans launch an air attack on the battalion. The soldiers quickly take Sergei to safety and then return to fight. The number of injured soldiers grows. Sergei, wanting to help, brings water to the wounded. One soldier, with his eyes bandaged, asks Sergei to read a letter from his family. Although Sergei can't read, he improvises, telling the soldier that his cow is safe back home. When the soldier says he doesn't have a cow, the others laugh and encourage him to go along with the story. Sergei continues reading letters, lifting everyone's spirits. In a later scene, Katya and the commander are seen talking by the river, with an unspoken attraction between them. Sergei, sensing the commander's feelings for Katya, tries to help by bringing them together, but they mistakenly believe she's interested in someone else. The base is attacked again, and Sergei helps by bringing ammunition to the front lines. But the soldiers order him back to the shed as it's too dangerous. There, he finds the commander and others panicking because the phone connection to the colonel is lost. A soldier is sent to repair the wires, but Sergei follows and finds the soldier fatally wounded. Determined, Sergei asks how to fix the wires and does it himself, restoring the connection and saving everyone's lives. Later, the commander and Katya talk by the river. The commander finally confesses his love for her and asks her to be Sergei's mother. Overjoyed, Katya is about to respond when a soldier interrupts with a letter stating they're being reassigned. The next day, the soldiers leave for a new base, taking Sergei with them. On the way, they encounter a minefield, and some vehicles are destroyed. The commander is injured, and a soldier, who is close to Sergei, dies. Sergei, heartbroken, clings to the commander as they continue their journey. When they reach the new base, they meet the general, who is impressed by Sergei's bravery and commends the commander for raising such a smart boy. The following day, their division is awarded a Guards banner, and Sergei receives his own badge, promising to defend his country. That night, the base is attacked again, and the commander is trapped under rubble. Sergei, desperate, calls for help, and the soldiers manage to rescue the commander. The next day, Sergei, whose hands were injured while trying to save the commander, visits him. The boy has become an inseparable part of the team, having no family other than the soldiers. The movie concludes with the regiment moving to another base. A voiceover reveals that Sergei later participated in the Battle of Stalingrad and reached Poland with the soldiers. He is now recognized as the world's youngest soldier, with his legendary bravery known worldwide. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.